In NASCAR's 75-year history, there have been many numbers come and go. On any given weekend, you will see 36 to 40 unique numbers on the track, and each of those numbers has a story to tell. Hi, I'm your host Matt, and this is NASCAR Number History, presented by Dogleg Media. In this series, we look to tell the stories of each of those numbers, who won with the number first, who found victory lane the most, and every driver to grab a trophy in the number. We go in chronological order, and today we explore numbers 18 through 20. If you missed numbers 1 through 17, the Number History playlist will be linked below. But with that out of the way, let's dive in to some NASCAR number history. We're going to kick things off with number 18. The number 18 has 80 total wins in the Cup Series, with 4 different drivers. The first to win was Marvin Burke back in 1951 at Oakland, driving the number 18 Mercury. An interesting fact about Marvin Burke, he is the only driver in NASCAR history to win every single race he ever entered, which was the one that we're talking about. And of course, the driver with the most wins is none other than Rowdy Busch himself, Kyle Busch, with 56 total wins. Busch would begin driving the number 18 Toyota for Joe Gibbs in 2008 after leaving Hendrick Motorsports. By far the most successful driver in the 18, he would win 2 championships in the number in 2015 and 2019. Busch would win many crown jewel events in the 18, including 2 Brickyard 400s, a Coca-Cola 600 victory. He won the All-Star race in 2017, and he would win the 2008 Southern 500 in his first season with the number. Busch would become the first driver to win on every single track on the NASCAR circuit. He would also be the first driver to complete the weekend sweep by winning the Truck, Xfinity, and Cup Series races in a weekend, doing it twice. Busch would have a monumental breakup with the 18. After 15 years of driving, he would leave Joe Gibbs to join Richard Childress Racing, driving the 8. Busch was recently named one of NASCAR's 75 greatest drivers, and he is certainly a future Hall of Famer. Now let's look at some other drivers to win in the 18 car. First up would be Jarrett. Jarrett would make starts in 1987 in the 18 for Freelander Motorsports before calling the number home again for Joe Gibbs from 1992 to 1994. Jarrett would collect 2 wins in the 18 car, winning the 1993 Daytona 500 in the number, the first of 3 500 victories for Jarrett. His other win would come in 1994 at Charlotte, his final season with the 18. Jarrett would be named one of NASCAR's 50 greatest drivers and inducted into the NASCAR Hall of Fame in 2014. And then we move on to Bobby Labonte. Labonte would pilot the 18 for Joe Gibbs from 1995 until 2005, filling the seat after Jarrett would leave the team in 1994. Labonte would make the 18 car a champion before Kyle Busch would, winning the 2000 Cup Series championship. Labonte would win all of his crown jewel events in the number, including the 1995 Coca-Cola 600 and picking up 2 crown jewels in his championship season, winning the Brickyard 400 and the Southern 500 in 2000. All in all, Bobby Labonte would bring the 18 car to victory lane 21 total times. He was named to NASCAR's 75 greatest driver list and was inducted into the NASCAR Hall of Fame in 2020. And now, let's move on to the current driver. Except, there is not a current driver of the 18 car. After Kyle Busch would leave a 15-year stint in the number to join Richard Childress Racing in 2023, Gibbs would retire the 18 car in favor of a new number, the number 54, for his grandson Ty Gibbs' rookie season in the Cup Series. It will be interesting to see when the 18 car comes back, and if Ty will get a win in the 54 by the time we reach that number in NASCAR number history. Moving on to the number 19. The 19 has 21 total wins in the Cup Series with 4 different drivers. The first to win would be John Rostek back in 1960 at Phoenix driving the 19 Ford. And then the driver with the most wins is also the current driver of the 19, Martin Truex Jr. with 13 wins. The 2017 champion would come to Gibbs, replacing Daniel Suarez in 2019 after his former team Furniture Row Racing would shut down operations at the end of 2018. Truex has earned 1 crown jewel in his time in the 19 so far, winning the 2019 Coca-Cola 600 in his first season with the number. Truex would have a winless drought in 2022, and many wondered if he would call it quits after that season, missing the playoffs entirely due to the number of different winners that season. However, Truex would break that winless drought in 2023 at Dover, and has looked like the Martin Truex Jr. we all know and love as of recent. Truex has mentioned that he would like to give the 19 ride to his brother Ryan, who also just won his first Xfinity race in the 19 for Gibbs. Does that mean we'll see Truex in the 19 for a few more seasons to come? And if so, how many more wins will he claim in the 19? Other drivers to win in the number, starting with Jeremy Mayfield. Mayfield would drive the number 19 Dodge for Evernham Motorsports from 2002 to 2006, collecting 2 wins in the number. He would earn the last Cup Series victory of his career in the 19 at Michigan in 2005. 2006 would be the season of infamy for Mayfield, where he would fail a drug test administered by NASCAR, ultimately ending his time in the 19 and for the most part, his career. Mayfield's controversies with NASCAR have spurred debates on whether or not he was being forced out from the sport for being outspoken about his then team owner Ray Evernham. While this isn't a conspiracy channel, it definitely makes you wonder what could have been if this had never happened to Mayfield. And then, let's jump to the last driver before Truex to win in the 19, Carl Edwards. Edwards was a fan favorite that left the sport too soon in many fans' opinion. Edwards would pilot the 19 from 2015 to 2016 for Joe Gibbs after leaving a long stint with Roush Fenway in the 99. Edwards would win 2 crown jewels in his time in the 19, both coming in his first season with that number, winning the 2015 Coca-Cola 600 and the Southern 500 that year. Ironically, 2 races I was at. Edwards' time in the 19 would come to a close at the championship race at Homestead in 2016. Edwards was one of the Championship 4 drivers in contention for the championship. After a late race restart resulted in him and Joey Logano getting tangled up, ending Edwards' day, he would announce that offseason that he was stepping away from racing. Edwards is by far one of the best drivers to never win a championship, up there with Mark Martin, where he literally tied with Tony Stewart for the title in 2011, losing a tiebreaker, and another second place points finish in 2008. Edwards would get 5 total wins in the 19, but it leaves many wondering what would have happened if he hadn't hung it up, and was recently named to NASCAR's 75 Greatest Driver list. And now, let's finish things off with the number 20. The number 20 has 58 total wins in the Cup Series with 6 different drivers, 3 of which are still racing today. And a fun fact, every full-time driver of the 20 since Tony Stewart in 1999 has recorded at least 2 wins in the number. The 20 definitely attracts talent and luck. The first to win was Marvin Panch back in 1961. This would be Panch's first and only win in the number 20, but he was going out with a bang, winning the Daytona 500 in the number. And this is pretty obvious, but the driver with the most wins in the 20 is Tony Stewart with 33 total wins. Easily the most recognizable and successful driver when you think of the 20 car is definitely Smoke. Stewart would make his debut in the 20 in 1999, winning 3 times and finishing 4th in the standings, winning that season's Rookie of the Year award. Stewart would drive the 20 from 1999 to 2008, winning his final race in the number at Talladega in 2008, in what would be a highly controversial finish with Regan Smith going below the double yellow line. Smoke would win 2 of his 3 championships driving the 20, winning it in 2002 and 2005. Stewart would win 2 crown jewels in the number, coming at his hometown track of Indianapolis in the Brickyard 400. Stewart would later go on to be an owner-driver at Stewart-Haas Racing, driving the 14 already mentioned in this series. Stewart was named one of NASCAR's 75 Greatest Drivers list and was inducted into the NASCAR Hall of Fame in 2020. Tony Stewart is one of the sport's greats, and we are certainly lucky to have seen him on the track in whatever number he was in. Now, let's jump into every other driver to win in the number, starting off with Joey Logano. The 2-time Cup champion will get his start in the 20, replacing a departing Tony Stewart in the 20 Home Depot Toyota in 2009. Logano was one of the hottest prospects to join the Cup Series, coining the nickname Sliced Bread, as he was supposed to be the best thing since. Logano would win his first Cup Series race driving the 20 in his rookie season at a rain-shortened event at New Hampshire, and would also win the Rookie of the Year award that season. Logano would pilot the 20 from 2009 to 2012, claiming his last win in the number in 2012 at Pocono. While Logano would find most of his success in a number very close to 20, he would find his beginnings in the Cup Series driving the Joe Gibbs 20 machine. And then after Logano, it's another NASCAR legend, Matt Kenseth. Kenseth would ultimately claim 15 wins in the number and would replace Logano in 2013, piloting the 20 until 2017. Kenseth would leave a 14-year tenure from Roush Fenway, where he would win the 2003 championship driving the 17 car. He would claim 1 crown jewel in the number his first season with Gibbs in the Southern 500. The most memorable, though, is the incident between him and Logano at Martinsville in 2015, which resulted in Kenseth being parked the last 2 races of the season. Kenseth definitely found a second home with Gibbs, and would be named to NASCAR's 75 Greatest Drivers list, and was inducted into the NASCAR Hall of Fame in 2023. And then we move on to Erik Jones. Jones would join Joe Gibbs and take over the 20 car after Matt Kenseth would leave the organization at the end of the 2017 season. Driving from 2018 to 2020, Jones would earn 2 wins in the 20 car, including the 2019 Southern 500. Jones would struggle in 2020 and would ultimately be outed from the ride for the current driver of the number 20. And with that, it brings us to the current driver, Christopher Bell. After a rookie season at feeder team Levine Family Racing, Bell would man the helm of the 20 car in 2021, finding almost immediate success, winning the second race of the season at the Daytona road course. Bell would have a breakout season in 2022 though, becoming the front runner at Gibbs. Winning 3 times, including 2 absolutely clutch wins in the playoffs and an elimination race to advance him, he would make it all the way to the Championship 4 to compete for the championship. Bell would ultimately come home 3rd in the standings, but for a third-year driver, it was extremely impressive. Bell has already made it to victory lane this season, winning the Bristol Dirt Race, which is fitting for him as he is a 3-time Chili Bowl winner. Bell has emerged as the top talent at a stacked Gibbs stable, and it wouldn't surprise me to see him compete for a championship and maybe even win one or two. And that'll do it for numbers 18 through 20. Let me know what you think about the 3-number format. I think it works pretty well. It's not as short as a 1-number video, but certainly isn't as long as a 5-number video. We still kept every winner ever, because we want to be as thorough as possible. But like always, I am prone to forgetting drivers. Let me know which drivers of any of these numbers I may have missed for this one. If you haven't seen numbers 1 through 17, the number history playlist will be linked below. Be sure to check them out. I also released my new series, Legends Beginnings, this week, featuring the humble beginnings of 7-time champ Jimmie Johnson. I would certainly appreciate it if you would check it out and let me know what you think. We will be back next week with numbers 21 through 23, and let me tell you, there are a couple big numbers in that one. If you like the video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. It helps a ton and I definitely appreciate it. But that'll do it for us here at Dogleg Media. I'm Matt, your host, and you've been watching NASCAR Number History. I'll see you next time.